what's up you guys? Welcome back to my channel. This week's video is gonna get weird because I'm talking about the creepy guy that lived across the street from me for 17 years. That's my whole childhood, in case you didn't know. He did so many weird things that I have a list front and back to remember. And we're gonna go through them in order from birth to now. H-O-T-T-O-G-O. All weird men have got to go, right? Because that's how the song goes for me, or at least for this video. So please make sure to grab your snacks, grab your drinks, bit that wrong, because I don't know how long this one's gonna be. Hopefully not long, because then I'm gonna have to take hours to edit it, but hopefully it is long, because then you guys get to watch it. At the end of the day, this is all for you. I feel like I have friends that I tune in with every week, like my own little show. This is the Dorks show, or the Jess show. I don't know. Is that narcissistic to call it after myself? Because iCarly named the show iCarly. Everybody has a weird guy in their life, okay? Whether it's a weird uncle, a weird dad, a weird ex. I've had every single one of them, but this in particular is the weird guy that lived across the street. Everybody has had a weird guy across the street, or next door, or downstairs, or watching up above, you know, according to Christians. You can laugh, it's okay. Well, this one's called Dave, and he lived on the street before I was born, and he held me after I was born. Okay, so he knew me since I was just a little baby, which makes all of this even weirder. But I shouldn't have been surprised, because all the signs were there throughout my whole childhood that he's... So that's why Dave and my dad are friends, because they're neighbors. So Dave would come over all the time to shoot the crap with my dad and have a beer, or cook out, or whatever. Although we were never invited over there, but then again, I don't know that he was having any shindigs. You know what? Actually, they would, and we wouldn't get invited because nobody wanted my mom there. Understandable. I don't want my mom there, but I don't have a choice because I live with her. When I was really little, I didn't have a problem with Dave because I didn't have a problem with anybody, because I thought all people were inherently good and my parents would only associate with people that are inherently good. I didn't even think that my parents were bad yet, even though they were doing horrible things, because I just assumed that everybody's parents does those things. Everybody's parents beats them with a belt when they're 2. When Dave would come over, my dad would be in a good mood because, well, he's drinking beer. So that's one reason, but also just because one of his buddies was around. So I just was happy that my dad was happy, and I would listen in on their adult conversations. I would laugh when they laughed and try to act like I know what's going on because I wanted to be a part of it. You know, I got FOMO. But my mom would say things like, oh, you know, I don't like Dave. Stay away from Dave. And I just thought that was my mom being crabby because, you know, my mom doesn't like anybody. My mom doesn't want me around anyone. When my half-sister would visit, she would tell me and my brother to go hide in our rooms and usher us away. So I just thought this is another person she wanted to usher us away from that my dad got along with, because my mom doesn't like people that my dad is friends with or is the family of. But I learned that it's not actually my mom just being a B word. She actually has some validity in her feelings, because Dave is a creep, and Dave would make comments to my mom, and these are some of the comments that he would say. Where did a truck driver like you find a woman like that? Oh, I need to start frequenting some of the truck stops you frequent, Harold. Another thing that he said to her was, oh yeah, Harold's gone every week for truck driving. I should come over more often then. He would also just make comments about her body when she was wearing certain things, which might be part of the reason she started dressing like crap. I know that she kind of started to feel like crap because she is crap. I mean, she can be a victim and still suck. Just watch some of my other videos. We're not feeling bad for mom here, but what I will feel bad for is the fact that her husband kept bringing this guy around. My dad would literally devalue my mom in front of my mom to Dave. If they were having an argument, he would then, when Dave came over, tell Dave about it and make comments about my mom and literally say that she's a B word to his best friend. I feel like that set the precedent, like, oh, you don't respect your wife, so I don't have to. And my dad was cheating on Linda, and I feel like my dad told Dave about that too. He knew my dad was cheating. Maybe he felt like, well, anybody can have a pass at your wife because you're not being faithful, so maybe she's not either. And since you don't respect your own relationship with your wife, I'm not gonna respect your relationship with your wife because it's Dave. Dave's a crap friend anyway. Dave embarrassed us in public many times, and I'll get to that, because we used to go out to eat with this man, and my dad would tell me how embarrassed he was, but then continue to eat out and hang out with this man. So I mainly just believed that Dave was a raunchy man, okay, a raunchy person. I just thought he was kind of like my dad, a peevert. The first time that Dave started to not respect me around my dad and my family was when I was 12. Dave knew that I did beauty pageants, and he knew that I would wear risque outfits at these beauty pageants. Yeah, I would go up on a stage and dance in a bikini at 7, 2-piece bikini, after getting a spray tan and my flipper in and all my makeup done, looking like a 7-year-old Dolly Parton. So that was brought up in a conversation about Dave's car. He had an old Camaro that he was trying to sell, and he was having problems selling it because he wanted too much for it. As a joke to my dad, while my mom was in earshot and I was right there, he said, well, hey Jess, why don't you go put on your 2-piece bikini from pageants and pose on my car? I'll give you $100. And me being 12, where $100 is like 1,000. I'm like, oh my God, yeah, I'll go put that on and pose. I put that on and pose for men all the time in photo shoots for pageants, or I literally model on stage in it and shake my little 12-year-old tush. So yeah, I'll go put it on for a friend of my dad that we know. I pose for strangers. I can pose for Dave, right? Well, my mom shut that down quick. One of the only good things my mom did was shoot that right down. No, she's not putting on her bikini for you. Are you sick? Yeah, he is. Well, Dave laughed. He's like, oh, I'm just kidding. But look, she wants to do it. I want the $100. I don't realize what's going on. But then this is the part that sticks with me. The worst part about it. Dave goes, well, even if the Camaro doesn't sell, I could just sell the pictures. And my dad laughed, and he kept letting this man come around. And my mom pulled me aside and was like, that's weird for a grown man to ask that about Harold's daughter. That's weird. That's why I don't like Dave. He makes comments like that about me. You'll understand when you're older. Mom, you're still nuts, but I get it. I did not put on my swimsuit that day. I did not pose. I didn't make $100 either, sadly. My mom saved me. My dad just laughed. I thought my dad was a joker. Maybe he is the joker. The next time that the joke was on me, you know, the perverted joke, was when I was 16 or 17. I had my track uniform on, and if you know anything about track uniforms, they're tight, they're spandex. Just look up spandex shorts, look up a track uniform made of spandex, and that's what I was wearing. I was sitting in the living room. Dave came in and sat on the couch with my dad, and they were having a beer. In less than an hour's time, I was to drive to the school and get on the bus. So I'm all ready to go. While Dave and my dad are talking, the dog needed in. And I hesitate to get up because I'm a young girl. I'm 16 at this point. I've been catcalled more than my own mother because it starts young and it ends young too. Once I was in my early 20s, I stopped getting catcalled as much as I did at 13, 14, 15. That's weird, right? Anyway, I just had this inkling like, I probably shouldn't get up right now with my backside to Dave because I know he's like my dad. And unlike my dad, who would look at me and keep it to himself, he's not the type to keep it to himself. But then I thought, we're in my living room. My dad is right there. He's not gonna say something with my dad right here. So I stand up and I go to the door and I let in Maggie, our Great Pyrenees, who wags her tail and bounces in. And as I lean down to pet her, this comes out of Dave's mouth. Well, geez, Harold, how did something that hot come from somebody as ugly as you? And I froze. I stood upright and I looked back at them and I froze. And I waited for my dad to defend me. But you know what my dad did? This is what my dad did. He chuckled and he goes, yeah, I don't know. I don't know either. I wonder that myself. You looked at me and thought, dang, you're hot. How did I make you? Okay, Donald Trump. That's the vibes that my dad was giving. Another thing that Dave said one time when he was in our house was after our new neighbors had visited, my dad sold a plot of land after the divorce to pay off my mom, and that guy he sold it to was in our kitchen with his two kids. The one son was like 14 or 15 at the time, and his daughter was 11. Dave was also in the house at the time because he had stopped by to have a beer. I can't remember if he was already there or if he came when he saw the other people there because he's nosy. He literally had the nickname on the road, the mayor, because he was always in everyone's business. He likes that title because he feels like the king of our road. You know, I'm the mayor of blank road. I know everything that goes on. We gave that to you for a negative reason. That is not a positive nickname, just so you know, mayor. We gave that to you because you're a nosy fuck and no one likes you. But no, he's a narcissist, so he thinks it's a positive thing. After these people left and went home, this is what he said about that guy's 11-year-old daughter to my dad while I'm standing there, freshly 19. Yeah, that little girl's gonna be high maintenance one day. Did you see the whole get up she had going on? I heard she wants hundreds of dollars of makeup too for Christmas. Yeah, she's gonna be real high maintenance. I don't want to be her husband. You are a 68-year-old man. Why are you even thinking about being her husband, you sick? Anyway, whole other part of this is we would go on meals with him all the time. Dave, me and my dad and Dave, we would go to this choke and puke called Todd's where I grew up. It was a sketchy pancake place where old people would go that's all I have to say about it. It wasn't the most clean, but they had good corn cakes. Okay, cornbread cakes, pancakes with cornbread in them. Anytime we would go to that restaurant or other breakfast places, Dave would always harass the waitress. If it was a young, pretty waitress or even middle-aged, if she was slightly attractive, Dave would flirt and he would be a pig. And it would embarrass my dad. My dad would literally be like, you know, between the way he talks with food in his mouth and the food flies everywhere and I have to guard my food with my menu, between that, the way he talks to women while we're out is so embarrassing. You know, Dave would literally shout across to other people's tables and talk about men's wives or people that what they were doing when they were eating, or he would yell after the waitresses when they're trying to quickly give the food and F off because they want to get away from this man that they're forced to serve. It's like a transaction at a counter, right? Like when you're cashing someone out, the cashier is forced to do small talk with you because they literally can't leave because that's their job. It's the same thing. Dave knows the waitress can't leave, so he'll continue to be a perv and she's just stuck there. So they'll try to get away from him and he'll yell after them, continuing with his flirtatious, disgusting remarks, talking about the way that they look, or what are you doing after this, or you should stick around our table longer. Oh wait, I need this or I need that. You know, all of a sudden Dave needs every fucking condiment that's bad back there. No, he doesn't. He just wants to keep her coming back to the table, and they know it. And my dad knows it, because my dad's a perv, because he told me that when I was 7 to my face. He's just more discreet about it. He'll look at their ass when they walk away. He won't keep making them come back. He would do it in a one-on-one, I can get away with this kind of thing, not in a restaurant setting. But yet my dad would keep going out to eat. He's so embarrassing, Jess. I'm so embarrassed by him. I don't even want to eat with him anymore. But then Dave would call, you want breakfast? And they'd go out to eat. And I'd go, because I don't know. I just like food. Free food. One time though, Dave was harassing this waitress, and he was doing this whole spiel, you know. He didn't like that she wouldn't give him personal information. He was asking questions about where she grew up, what other things she does outside of work, and the waitress was like, I don't need to tell you those details. I'm just here to serve you food. And Dave got offended. Oh, well, you see, I'm the mayor of blank road. I'm the mayor around there, so everybody tells me everything. And the waitress claps back and goes, yeah, well, I grew up in Perry County, so you're not the mayor of shit, and walked away. Heels clacking and everything, and I was like, yeah, you tell him, girl. If he would have reported her to the boss, I would have been like, no, that guy's a creep. He's been creeping on me and my mom since I was in diapers, so she has every right to say that. I tried to laugh it off, but I know that it bothered him. He didn't act all flirty after that. He said, oh, well, she's in a sour mood. No, you're just in a creepy, disgusting, perverted one. I'm assuming that Dave would make other comments about me when I wasn't around, things that I didn't hear, and I just know that my dad didn't defend me, because he didn't defend me when I was right there, so why would he defend me when I'm not? I know that there's some men over 18 here that watch me. Maybe there's dads. If your best friend, male best friend, said that to your kid or about your kid, oh, how did something that hot come from something like you, or offered to give your kid $100 to dress inappropriately and pose on their car for them to take photos, would you still bring them around? Would you trash talk your wife to them? I guess that says more about my dad than men, but would you keep bringing somebody around that would trash talk your wife with you or be that comfortable doing that? Imagine what they say to your wife when you're not there. Like, did my dad not care? I guess not, because he was cheating on her. It was not a happy marriage. They were staying together for the kids. That wasn't for us, that was for you, because you're too lazy to go get a divorce, and now the kids are fucked up. Thank you. It's never for the kids, it's always for themselves. When the parents stay together and don't divorce, it's for themselves. They don't want to admit that they failed, that it didn't work. So they're like, well, we have kids, so we'll make it work. No, don't make it work. I've been on this tangent before. Here I go again. Here I go again on my own. This is not perverted, but another thing that Dave did, this was the one time my dad started to realize what Dave was, which I don't know why he didn't already know what Dave was, because he told me that he knew Dave was not worth a damn. Me and my dad would go mushroom hunting, and we found a patch of 100 mushrooms, and if you know anything about wild mushrooms, you don't find them like that. You might find 1 or 2 or 5 together. We found 100 together. So we got all of these mushrooms, and instead of going home and sorting our mushrooms and keeping the ones we wanted, my dad wanted to show Dave first. Go to Dave's house, and he shows Dave all the mushrooms and says, you can have some of them, you know, you can have half. Dave took all the good mushrooms, okay? He's picking out all the mushrooms, and I'm seeing him take big ones. Big one after big one, and I'm thinking, surely he's not taking them all. And my dad's standing there, and he's thinking the same thing. Surely he's not taking them all. But we get home, and we realize that he surely did take them all. He left us all the crappy ones. And even worse, when he was picking through them, he kept looking in it like, is that about half? Would you say that's fair? You took all the good ones, Dave. It's way less than fair. In fact, my dad said to me, I wish we would have came home and sorted out the ones we wanted first and just took him the shitty ones, and then I just showed him a picture of what we found. And I'm like, yeah, I wish we did that too, but my dad just wanted to show Dave in person because it was kind of cool to see in person, but Dave took advantage of that because Dave is a sleaze, and my dad should have known better. This guy makes weird comments about people's body in public, okay? Which is technically another person's property. You think he's gonna respect yours? You think he's gonna respect your shrooms, Dad? No. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'll see you either next Friday at 3 or Saturday at noon. Yeah, is that when I do it? Hope you enjoyed this one or not. I don't care. Bye! Wait, why are you still there? Bye! 1 second. 1 second. Okay, there's a really important part of the story, the best, most craziest part that I'm gonna insert now, because this man literally broke into our house and came into my room when I was sleeping, and I had to hide from him. So my parents were gone. They had been gone overnight because they had to go clean one of my mom's houses. She would clean newly built homes, and my dad went with her to help clean the windows, and they stayed at a motel overnight. So the next morning, they weren't home yet. I was home by myself, and I guess they'd been texting me because they wanted to check in with me and make sure I was okay. I was still asleep because it was 10 in the morning, and I'm 15 years old, so I'm gonna still be asleep on a Saturday. Sorry. Well, I guess they panicked when I didn't respond to their texts in a timely manner, so instead of being normal and, like, I don't know, driving home or waiting half an hour because they were almost home, they asked the neighbor to come check on me. So Dave, that's the neighbor they pick. Out of all of our normal neighbors, they pick him. Whatever. I hear pounding on the door, and I ignore it, because I'm assuming it's somebody, a neighbor, there for my parents when my parents aren't home, so why would I answer the door? I know that my parents have the keys, so that's not going to be them pounding, and my brother's in college, so it's not going to be him either. That's probably like a mailman. He can go away. My parents can redeliver whatever it is. I'm not talking to a stranger, all right? So I keep sleeping. Well, next thing I hear is the back door opening. I sit bolt upright, because I know it's too early for my parents to be back, and I hear a voice calling my name, but I'm so tired and disoriented that I'm like, that kind of sounds like Dave, but I'm I'm not sure. I'm half naked because I was just asleep under the covers, so I'm gonna go hide because I now think there's a man in my fucking house. In the place that I'm supposed to be safe, okay, my home. I hide in the closet. I hear footsteps down the hallway and I hear someone yelling my name. And that's when I realize, okay, it's somebody that we know because they're calling my name. For one, why is Dave here knocking on the door at all? And for two, why did he enter the house? You know, I have no clue that my parents have sent him because that's what's happening. They sent him to check on me. Like I said, I don't know that, because I just woke up. I haven't even looked at my phone yet other than to see what time it was to see who the hell that would be in my house. So I'm scared. I'm hiding in the closet thinking that the neighbor's gone nuts. He's broken into the home knowing that my parents are away and he's gonna like assault me or something. So I'm hiding in the closet and I don't respond to his yells. All I know is that I'm alone in my house with a man who may not be a stranger but has no business there that I'm aware of. I hear him looking in all the rooms for me, calling my name, looking everywhere, and he eventually leaves after a couple minutes. Like, he was walking around our house for several minutes while I hid in the closet, terrified. After he's gone, I immediately text my parents, and after I text my parents, like, Dave was just in the house, they call me, and they're bitching at me because they're like, well, why didn't you answer him? We sent him there for you because you wouldn't answer us. Well, I was just sleeping. Why would you have the neighbor, a man? Of all the neighbors you could pick, you pick the man, not my best friend Hallie's mom down the street, not my godparent down the street the other way. You couldn't pick either one of those nice ladies? Well, Dave was the closest, you know, he's right across the road. Oh, boo-hoo. I would have preferred they messaged a woman, you know? Why would a man be there? It's Saturday morning, I'm supposed to be home alone, and I hear a man's voice, and it's early, and I'm confused, and I was just asleep. Why would a man be there? So I try to explain this to my parents. So imagine what it's like for me. Like, I'm half naked, and I hear a man's voice, and my mom's like, oh, just put a shirt on and go see who it is. Let's see a random man walk into the house when you're home alone that's not supposed to be there, neighbor or not, and you just put a shirt on. Anyway, that's all. Bye.